I'm Nancy, and I'm going to be filming tonight for WTCO, which is the community television station in Whitehall. So you're all going to be stars.
And it's also available on YouTube.
Right, it'll be on YouTube. Takes a couple weeks, but then it'll be up on YouTube. So
there we go.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Mary C. Anderson, and we've got a cow-calf operation. We're retired dairy over in Trempealeau County. And I also am currently working with the Wisconsin DNR as their state grassland specialist, building relationships between the farmers that have cattle and the public land, grasslands that we need more management on. So pay attention in your neighborhoods, and if you by chance see something that has, wildlife management area sign, and you're interested in potentially doing some grazing for grassland management, just get a hold of me and I can get you linked up. And away you go.
Hi, Jason Smith. I have a small place near Osseo. We do a little custom grazing, and I guess we dabble in a lot of things. So.
Russell Heck from Mondovi. I'll let Christina say what we got.
Gee, thanks. I'm Christina Olson from Mondovi. We dabble in a lot of stuff. Between cattle, equipment, land, greenhouses, and everything in between.
Brett DeWitt from Gelmonton. Got a cow-calf operation, do a little cash cropping too.
Joe Wick from Prague, cow-calf, and that's about it. Johnny?
John Hovey, just the next farm north here, cow-calf operation, and stockers, I guess you'd call it. Background in my yearlings.
Briar Golden, in the process of moving from southern Buffalo County to this valley up here in northern Buffalo County. I work for Buffalo County Land Conservation, and I get to administer the farmland preservation program in the county. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me if you're in Buffalo County.
Dennis Reimers with the USDA NRCS here for Buffalo County and Pepin County as well. So we administer all the USDA farm programs.
John Acklaw from Mondovi, just over the hill. Been rotational grazing cattle for the last 20 years.
Cody Rud, farm here with my dad.
I've got my own. I got about 80 beef cows and calves, and I raise a few grass-fed beef, about 20 head every year, kind of, and that's about it.
And now we're going to load up and go for a drive.
We got one left.
Come on up.
Hi, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
My cousin was driving my
I'll leave it back.
Yeah? How you doing? Not bad. Boy, that's a cushy seat. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a little hard when I said.
Yeah, we're...
Picked a better day.
Boy, it is nice, isn't it? Here, May 4th. And this will be the second round. Yeah, about May 4th is the first time. And this was about the 1st in July. I'm a little behind schedule because all this grass, and at least I wanted to get it kind of knocked down so something else would grow. So. Yeah, and I have an awful time trying to keep my legumes in my pasture. Okay. Seems like I got pasture tall, and then they don't really reseed very good. But if you want to dig a hole, this would be the spot.
Have you added clover into your
I have seeded. I got no-till drill, and I have no-till grass, yep, anywhere in here, but it works, but if you have really heavy sod, it really doesn't take a hold.
Do you clip your pastures?
Not very often, obviously.
And I guess a legitimate question is why?
Why I don't clip it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think I'm kind of too lazy for one thing, or I don't get at it, you know.
Take a whip. Pass it around.
Shouldn't need to if you.
Nobody wants to snip at manure plant?
About July 1st was the last made my second pasture here.
Okay.
And when about May 5th or something, we put them in there first, and then it was like July 1st.
We done dug that last year this time.
All right, well that's the dirt.
Place your divot.
Huh?
And now
Replace the
Dennis,
divot, I said.
That's exactly what we want soil to look like, isn't it?
It's not much.
And like I said, all this vegetation and all that hoof action, especially when it's wet, is really working at, should be really good for the
Have you
soil.
found when it's wet, real wet like that, and you have all the, they don't do much pugging?
No,
Right?
no.
I mean, because of all this,
Yeah.
it kind of protects the soil too. From,
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of
So-
what I found too, is grazing high. You know, that grass is,
Yeah.
that high. I don't have much mud at all. Even
No.
I mean, the other day we had a 2.5 inch rain, and we were grazing that stuff and I didn't have any mud.
Yeah, we didn't either, so, yeah.
Crazy.
Okay,
When are you going to turn them back out into this?
well, I'm way behind because I'm trying to knock it down, and so I guess I gotta say, we took all the cattle from both farms and put them on one. So we got like 50 head in here to try to get a little more of this. But we're getting behind on our rotation because we're trying to get it knocked down, and we're also trying to feed the cattle too. The mob grazing is great, but it's not always the greatest for the cattle. It's good for the soil.
Do you know how many acres you got in this pasture here?
On the farm is 120 acres on this farm, and then we got
About 80 acres of pasture.
80 acres.
80 acres of pasture here, and how many is over to your place?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Another 80.
And how many different paddocks do you have?
Oh, gee, I don't know.
Or do you move with polywire and reels?
And polywire, and then I got kind of lazy after a while, so my temporary fences are polywire, but they're kind of permanent. So if I want, I can reel them up, mow it, and so I got both my pastures are divided up, with polywire, but something that I can reel up. I don't have a reel on a lot of them; it costs too much money,
Right.
and so that's kind of
And
nice.
if you look right over here by the shrub, if you follow
Yeah.
it, you can see the pigtail post going up the hill.
Yeah, normally it's more obvious, but this year, you know how it is. Okay, we'll go on, I guess.
Larry, the cattle drink out of that dam then, or what do you have for
They knew from that polywire going up there, over there, they drink out of the dam.
All right.
And in this part and up through this valley, they drink up on top. I pipe water from the buildings all the way back.
Up there?
And then I have a water tank, well, you can't see it, but it's over this hill here. And then that paddock,
Over there way?
that drinks on that. So.
How big of
And one over there, I just open them up in the fall, and it just gravity drains them out.
Are you running them down X? Or taking them over the hill?
We're hauling them with a trailer.
Okay.
And I pipe the water from the buildings,
Yeah, that's a push.
and
That's 60-40 pressure switch.
yeah. And my old water tank went to heck. Otherwise, normally this would have been enough for them, but I didn't have a very big tank, so I had two. This one's a little
Better.
bigger. That's a little
There's
bigger
trouble, you
tank.
got a little more there.
Yeah.
I'll stay in this paddock how long, Larry?
Tomorrow I'll move them tomorrow.
3 days.
About 3 days.
They'll go into there.
Yep.
This is your second time around.
Yep.
You must have been 3 or early.
Yeah, they were pretty early. Yeah. And you know how the grass grew, so we tried to knock it down, but we didn't do it really good enough, kind of.
Yeah.
But I still had to keep moving, otherwise the other end gets really old.
Yeah.
And I always got them grass fed steers. Last year it was a drought, and I sold them July, August. I don't know when did we sell them. July, August. I sold most of them, and then that lightened up the pressure on the pasture, you know, and then finish them out. So I have a oiler, and then I did break down, and I used some of that exit gold on them, you know. It just works so good. I hate to see the flies. I don't want to use it, but I do use it. So.
Have you ever noticed that certain families seem to attract more flies
Absolutely.
than other family lines?
Yep. And maybe moving them 2 miles away once in a while helps too. You leave the flies and the manure behind. But obviously they still get flies.
I don't have many flies, Larry. I got more than you.
Yeah.
I don't treat. Not yet, anyway.
No, I actually use some of that exit gold I put on them, so that's why I don't have.
You mix that with a little diesel? Or
Not that stuff I put straight. But I got some stuff in the oiler that's mixed with diesel fuel now. Yeah. And I guess all my young cows and late cows and a few better cows are in here. So. And I don't like freshening on this tall grass. They leave calves behind, you lose calves, you don't know if they've had calves in the summer. So this year, Cody's idea, we kept the ones that weren't fresh yet over there where I can check them every day and do what I had to do. Otherwise it was awful stressful, thinking you're going to leave a calf behind, and you do.
Oh, right. Fighting that grass and can't find them.
And then sometimes you can leave the gate so they can come back, but you can't always do that. Depends on which pasture they're in, you know. And then a lot of times the cows like to go back to that pasture and eat that grass because that just come up nice and, you know, we don't want that. Usually I take them home about the 1st of November, or about the 1st of November. And I roll out hay for them. I leave the calves on them for about a month. And I wean the calves the first week of December. And their microbes in their stomach, they're all adjusted to the hay. And the calves know what hay is. And so when I wean them, 1,000 Hills got a protocol. They have to be no grain ever, you know, from ever. So I was pretty scared the first year, but when I did it that way, when I wean them, they bellow for their mothers, but they're not hungry because I feed them then I feed them really good baleage. So the calves are not hungry, and their stomach are adjusted to the hay, so they get more out of it too. The microbes are they can utilize what they're eating. And it's worked out quite well. So now I don't feed any grain ever. So. But they do get the best baleage I got. I test it all and make sure they get good stuff when I wean them. I've actually seen them eat thistle twice. Yeah. One time was a big bull thistle when he come from the top to take the flower off, you know.
Like those ones I took the flowers off of.
You know, and then first time he didn't get it, but the second time it did. And the other time was a Canadian thistle. And he took his tongue and wrapped it around it. Yeah. And picked it up and rolled it around in his mouth so all the pickers were out and all went. But obviously they don't do it enough. Yeah, I mean, isn't that weird? Yeah.
I've seen them eat the blossoms.
Yeah, they like the blossoms. And I think if you go and clip it, you would have a better second grow, you know. I mean, like the second time around, if I'd have clipped it the first time, I would probably have nicer, more thicker grass probably, you know. But
they need fiber in their diet too.
yeah, so but they're doing okay. I usually calve the end of March, 1st of April. So. And then of course, I got some late ones in here too. Yep. I think June 15th was my last calf. So. One year I took a little hole from a acetylene tank, you know, one that was shot. And so I siphoned it out of the tank so it would keep running all the time so it wouldn't freeze. Wasn't good enough. No froze.
Water in motion is supposed to stay in motion.
Well, I must have been, it's an awfully small hole and I suppose it didn't.
Whose bowls are these, Larry?
I got that one in Iowa, I think. And then one of them is mine. One I raised and then two of them in the year from Iowa. I bought one last year, one this year. Because mine are getting a little bit too much line bread, you know. Which is good, but a little too much is sometimes.
Ribbon on it. Not some potable water. It's good for 100 psi, 160. Well, I can only run 60 on it.
Tell them about the snow and the bulldozing.
Yeah, I've done that too. Well, you know, it's not in here, and then you got grass, so sometimes one year the snow was like, I'm like, what am I going to do? So I took my bulldozer and made a fox and goose run all over, you know, so that if the cow wanted to have a calf over there, she could go lay and not in the snow. But then it melted quite quick, and I rolled out hay then too in my little trails, and you know, but it's all a challenge. But
Gotta love it, don't you, Larry?
yeah. But it's a really good spot because it's protected from the wind from three sides. And
North is over there. Huh?
yeah, north, and it will blow in here from the north, but not too bad. So
Yeah, this is like open country calving here, man.
yeah. So I got a good calving, but sometimes the grass don't grow very good in August.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I don't know.
So
You always calved then in March and April?
Yeah, toward the end of March.
Towards the end of March.
I kind of like to get them, if I can, before pasture. I mean, just because of what we're saying, that they have the calves out there, and you lose the calves, and you don't know if they calved or not. And when you go out there, all they're thinking about is moving and eating, you know.
Yeah, they leave them behind.
Leave them behind, and sometimes you can leave the gate open so they can go back, but sometimes you can't.
Depends how you take
And I always test my hay all the time. That way I know which is my good hay for the calves, you know. And the bad hay I try to feed the winter time to the cows, you know. I never have enough good hay, but, well, I usually do. But
Any of these 2-year-old hay? Or
yeah, I got some in there from last year. No, yeah. And one little short row and a couple over there.
About on average, how many bales do you feed through in the wintertime?
You know, 400, 450, you know, I don't know.
Where do you want to stop next week?
I suppose partway down the hill I'll talk about that windbreak and the pine trees. You know, I'm about halfway down the hill there by the cow yard.
Oh, after the silo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Put them all in the trail. Does that count as grain or in silage? It does.
Otherwise.
So when I bought the place, it's all really windy here, and so I put up a windbreak.
Okay.
And,
Was it haylage, Joe?
when you do that, it's all nice to leave a little crack in between, so it's supposed to slow the wind in the lot. Otherwise, and a little bit underneath too, otherwise the cows will pile up right next to it, and then the wind will hit it and come over the top anyway. And then I planted these trees, which is probably 25 years ago, I suppose, and that really helped with the wind. Made a big difference. So.
Well, there's been an excess of wind the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but it really, I mean, you know, it's on this side of the hill, but it's still the wind really howls through here. You know.
A few days they'll be in the
And then how do you load out when you're moving the herds back and forth?
I got, this is a pen, and I run the cows above the bunk, you know, and then I have a lane there, 16 feet wide. I run them down through there.
And into the barn?
And in the barn, and out the barn, and then through the chute here.
And after the first time
What's
you
that?
did it, did they kind of catch on to it?
After you haul them a couple times, yeah, they load good. But I haven't, we did it 4 or 5 years ago, and then we haven't hauled them back and forth until this year now we're doing it again, so.
You're reminding them of how to
But,
be hauled.
yeah,
Remember that?
oh yeah,
I know they're going to new grass.
toward the end of the summer they load real good. You know,
We do
it's amazing,
at least
you know.
the first few trips.
Well,
Yes, in the fall, I don't know. Sometimes we run some
And then built the fence on them railroad ties, and I don't really recommend them. This time around I got some black locusts, and I used them. They're supposed to last a really long time. So, you know, them trees there are black locusts. Mine ain't very good, but Brett has really nice.
I got a lot of them. If anyone needs any.
Brett has a lot of really nice ones. So I sawed some lumber out of them, and they're over there, and he slabbed them on one side. I used the posts, I mean, you know, and then I used them in the corral, and then the boards are also supposed to last like forever. And so the new boards here are black locust. The old ones are oak.
Because you got to either split them or slab them, right? Otherwise, they'll start growing again on you.
Well, not so much, but if you slab them, it's easier to build like a wood fence, you know. You got something flat there, you know. And I took the Amish, and some I had sawed up for lumber, and then some they just slammed and maybe got one board out of, or, you know.
So they won't die.
It rains so easy now.
I know.
You get those dry spells, you can have clouds rolling through all day, and you don't get nothing.
Right.
Now we get sunshine, and we got one little cloud, here it comes. You know? One day, my daughter Sammy and I, one of them isn't too much.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they know it. Can if you do a lot. I think that's pretty loud.
18 because
Actually, when we hauled the cows back here, we dropped them off in here.
Pull the trailer up here.
Yeah.
Good job.
4 or 5.
Especially the cycles. Cycles, yeah. You got 100 pairs?
Did you want to look at the grass? On pasture walk, you should look at some grass. I grazed it once. And I was saying when I hauled them back here, I dumped them off here from the other farm.
I was just there when Green got
Pasture, yeah, I know.
That was one big one.
And I got fescue in here too. You know,
That's it.
swamp grass.
Hard to believe.
I don't know. I ain't what I really want either.
Being a nice.
Yeah. But yeah, this is chickweed. I don't know what. I think the cattle eat it.
Oh yeah.
But I don't. It ain't really what I want.
About a month since we've been here?
6 weeks on this one.
Okay, that's been 6 weeks.
About a month on the one in the yard.
In the yard, okay.
Yeah.
Nope, we don't have that. Or sandburs.
Here you go. Take some home with you. Here.
A lot of stuff.
It's medicinal.
I know a guy told me with, we got a lot of prickly ash kind of. The guy told me if you take them leaves and crush them off kind of, put them on your cap to keep the mosquitoes and the bugs away.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if it does, but Glenn Turner told me that.
Well, then it's got to be true.
Dad, what'd you say?
That's chickweed.
That is chickweed.
And I don't, I never had it, I just got it. It's kind of scary, but I hope I don't get, I think they eat it.
Isolated spots.
Yeah. And it'll grow right in the valley, right in the heavy sod, which is scary, you know, to me. I've probably got the record dandelion. I got some beautiful dandelions. And cows love them, and they are good for the cows. So that I can grow.
So are you going to continue to graze, getting ready for if and when it starts to slow down? Because we had a very long blaze of growth.
It could very easily get dry for
Yes.
a long time.
Yes.
And one thing about rotational grazing, which you all know, it really, really helps your drought. Because you probably got a month, 6 weeks of grass ahead of the cows. So I mean, it can get dry, and then by the time you get back, you got some growth. I mean, so it's really helpful that way. Well, I guess we've seen it, huh?
Okay, let's load them up.
Yeah.
Head about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I got 2 extra ones out there. Is your wagon?
Yeah.
Sit there and look out the window all day.
We gotta get that hunter. Hunters brought their friend in a wheelchair.
Fired my New Holland up, drove down, and back up the road. I looked ahead and all my dashes, you know. It's just like, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
type of deal.
16 minutes. No, man, I'm doing good now.
Old timer, you got it. Tractor full, no finals in it, nice. Good deal, Oh, that's right. Started 2 o'clock. I'll have to get over there a little earlier. Saturday night, isn't it?
Yep, my parents are there. Yep, my daughter, yep, my sister. He don't speak much. Boy, yeah.
I think that corn growing is going to be a cover crop for me pretty soon. Pain in the ass.
Graze it off.
Send them in there and eat it.
That's what Tommy did with his last year.
Oh,
I think that's all Jim Bork's boys, those cattle always get in the field back there. They pretty much got her all grazed off before they chopped it. Just a stock.
That would tell you, even though, you know, about another 20 minutes from now, we start to see one of those horses doing the pasture.
yeah.
It's intense grazing there.
Yep.
Nobody got any cattle in that piece of those apple trees in there?
They're really, the fence ain't very good.
Oh.
And a long ways around it.
Yeah, there's a lot of land with no fence.
There's no water either.
Yeah, they gotta go down. They gotta go down over there to get water. And I think mainly it's the fence. And it's a long ways around it, so